Hey guys, Rashid Phillips here, and welcome to This Week in Barbecue, the barbecue-focused podcast that brings you hot takes and even hotter recipes. Today's an emergency broadcast alert because the level of tomfoolery, buffoonery, and this can't be realism that's happened in the barbecue community in the last 2 to 3 days required me to come in today and just have a little bit of fun. So if you would bear with me, let's go down a little stroll down memory lane here. Now, roughly 2+ years ago and change, Traeger, at this point Cringer, launched an amazing IPO at $22. $22. We're going to come back to that little nugget in just a bit. But just a few days ago, they launched a amazingly interesting campaign with Louisville Slugger. Now, I used to swing a little wood back in the day, still swing some right now. But the main thing is they did a cross collab of maple pellets, which I thought was quite interesting when I saw the visual. Then I watched the ad along with many of my barbecue cohorts, and having been someone who came through the world of marketing and graphic design, there are just certain lessons here that have me a little confused. Some key words, if you would. Let's cut to the clip.
So over 2/3 of that billet is going to be the waste.
Well, guess what happens to that scrap? With this collaboration, it ends up in a bag of pellets for smoking on a Traeger grill.
All right. Did you guys pick up on it? If not, let's have Reading Rainbow moment here and go back over a little bit of these keywords. Two that really stuck out here.
The waste.
Scraps and waste. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. For a 30% markup, you can buy top quality sawdust, scraps, and waste. Now, I'll amend myself, not sawdust, it is scraps and waste, because here, as we've learned from Reacher Season 1 and 2, details matter. I don't think I would market a premium product as scraps and waste. That's like Spam, some pig and meat. It just doesn't roll off the tongue or sit with people's stomach or wallets very well. I like watching baseball. I don't like smoking my ribs with baseball bats, but I also don't use pellets. So maybe this is not targeted towards me. I am, however, very interested in finding out just how many Traeger aficionados, some pellet pirates, some pushers of the good old gerbil food are really backing and buying this premium pellet scrap waste product. There have been a lot of comments about this topic, but we're going to read a couple of those in a minute. Let's jump back to the start of this where I said Traeger launched at $22 a share. So this is either the earliest April Fool's joke in history, or this is, you ready? You ready? I'm bringing this all the way back. This is Traeger taking a swing and a miss. See what I did there? For boosting a spike in sales because the outdoor barbecue market is soft this year. Speaking of soft, apparently so is their pellet sales because they did this deal. I don't understand why. I truly don't. So at $22 a share to now trading at less of the cost of a double cheeseburger from BK, if I were them and those were my stock prices and sales, and after all the heads they've cut and all the down shrinking and all the companies they've released within, I get it. I would rob Peter. I would beat Peter to a pulp, steal his wallet, and then set his car on Turo in order to cover the difference, in order to make a little bit of profit back in this industry. It's not just Traeger. I'm not just bashing them. You guys like to think that. I got some friends who smoke pellets. We don't hang out much, but I've got them. It has to be a lesson in marketing, because why people in the barbecue community are talking about it. I really like to think and hope that this is an April Fool's joke, but we've all seen how sideways this can be when barbecue brands try to tie in with industries far outside their own. Who else remembers the Solo Stove, Snoop Dogg?
I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking.
I don't know how much that campaign cost to get Uncle Snoop to do and say and participate, but I do know it definitely cost some jobs. But more on that in a different podcast in a different light. All I have to say is everyone's hurting right now. Not just your fuel manufacturers, which I guess in this particular scenario we can go ahead and label Traeger as, but everyone from them to the guy who's running his small shop to the cat out front of the gas stations trying to make ends meet. if there's any takeaway from this, it's one, don't buy waste and scraps, even if it's labeled premium. And two, you have to start thinking differently in order to not only make it, but get ahead, because those who were ahead are just trying to make it. Thank you guys for jumping in and tuning into this emergency broadcast of This Week in Barbecue. I'm your host, Rashid Phillips. Come back next time for the pleasantries, distasteful jokes, and, funsies.